Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net. Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Here I am, standing at the door, looking back at life as it's been before, holding on to things that might have been, knowing that this day will never come again, as my spirit's guiding me.
Welcome to Soul Chat. I am Janee Powers, stepping in for Lainey Risto today. She is out, and I am so blessed to be here with a wonderful friend of mine. I'm so excited to have you on today and being able to do this. Each week, Lainey starts off with a little segment she calls What I Learned About Myself This Week. Boy, I learned a lot this week. It's like, which one do I want to pick? The one thing that I think I'm really going to work with is I learned something about my body that I've had some challenges with. And we all know when we have physical ailments, which is what we're going to be talking about today a lot with Sheila, a lot of times it's connected with emotions. Our whole bodies are a system and they're working. And I've had some challenges with a certain part of my body this week and didn't even connect it with another system. It was a muscle issue, bone locking up issue, challenging walking type of issue, and didn't even connect it in with the meridians. So it was really interesting when I went to get that looked at, and she immediately said meridians and dehydration. And I'm thinking, dehydration? I drink lots of stuff. I drink lots of water. I drink lots of my own homemade teas and stuff, and I didn't even put those two and two together. So for myself, I learned that even though we think we're really hydrated, that something as simple as water, which we will discuss part in your book, something as simple as water can cause all these other situations happening in your life. And the emotions, because the meridian that was connected with was the kidney meridian. And that was also causing discomfort in my knee, which who would think discomfort in your knee would be connected to your kidney meridian. Of course, emotions, allergies, all the extra lubrication that you lose in your body. So that's what I learned this week about myself. So, and I do want to mention that this Thursday there is a special Soul Chat from 2 to 3. It's April 16th. Lainey will be here with a medicine man, Shan Wei Ma. I want to say, I hope I pronounced your name right, Shan Wei Ma. And they're going to be discussing the different ways of that the cultures receive spiritual healing. So there'll be a special Soul Chat this Thursday, April 16th from 2 to 3, and there will be a medicine man here with Lainey, and they'll be discussing different ways different cultures receive spiritual healing. So, and without any more further ado, as they do say it a lot of times like that, I want to introduce a good friend of mine, an amazing woman, extremely intelligent, has worlds of knowledge, has I don't know how many different books you've had published, and music and all kinds of things. I've been to many of your personal events and your personal, I don't know what you call them, those great big events that change your life. Those great big things. This is Dr. Sheila Z. Sterling. She's with me today. So,
well, thank you. I'm just thrilled to be here. It's like family week, right?
Yeah. Having lots of fun in here. It's warm in here. I don't know if it's just me or if it's just warm. It's my own personal tropical vacation.
Well, absolutely.
But what I want to discuss mostly today is your new book that's out, The Anatomy of Healing and Wellness, which is it's like an encyclopedia for health and wellness, and I absolutely love it. I look at more of like a reference book than a book that you just sit and read through. I mean, you could read through it, but it's great when you're looking for specific issues and stuff like that. So, yeah. And you've been around this city and an author for how many years now?
Oh, about 16 I've been here.
Yeah. Yay, yay.
Just kick the mic.
There we go. We're making all kinds of noise here. And each book you've had specific reasons for writing them, specific insight or guidance. And this one in particular, do you want to talk about what brought you to this book?
Well, I have quite a history with self-healing, healing myself from numerous things that most allopathic physicians said you will never recover from this. Things like head trauma, shattered meniscuses, things that are, some of them even mechanical, that I've proved everybody wrong. And so I'm kind of the poster child for, yes, you can reclaim your vibrant life. Yes, you can stay 30 till you're 90. Yes, you can become, you can find, and you can become and open up that healer within. And it's all possible. If I can do it, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, there have been many times where you've had certain situations happen where practitioners told you, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing you can. And when it comes to that point, when these educated people are telling you there's nothing you can do, you're like, okay, I know I was this way. Don't tell me there's nothing I can do. I'm like, don't tell me I can't walk without pain. Don't tell me I can't do this. And that's when you really dig in and start searching.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everything takes a catalyst. And so one of my mottos, one of my sayings is that everything in the universe is happening for you and not to you. Mm-hmm. So when events happen, no matter what they are, take a deep breath, because no, the blessing might not be there that moment, but it's in divine timing. And it always brings something. And I think that this book came forth. I am a conscious channel, of course, and everything that I've done, my CDs and books have always sort of been divinely guided. They just pour out of me. And this book is no different. I actually was rewriting. I was just going to simply rewrite a previous book called Intentional Wellness, which is the name of a nationally accredited workshop that I have and I do. And about the second day when I started rewriting it, it just took over. It just took over. Everything went out the window, and I ended up with this beautiful 268-page masterpiece, I think. I mean, I normally don't say that about my own work, but I look at it and I'm like, wow, did I write this?
Yeah.
I'm looking through it now, and people are already gaining so much benefit, and so that I'm thrilled with that. Yeah.
Well, and this, I'm not for sure if you can say good like that.
Can you hold it up?
That's her book. And it's like a big dictionary of health, and it goes through different sections. It's not just herbs and nutrition. It's not just the emotional side of your body. It's not just the chemistry within the minerals and everything. It's so much more. It's that and so much more.
Well, we're amazing beings. I mean, there's thousands of things that are going on in every moment in our body. We have 100 trillion cells, and they are all communicating all the time with everything that's going on. You probably have to get about 6 books to actually get what's in this book. I go through the 4 pillars, the physical pillar of course, what wellness and healing is, and then I go through the science and the quantum physics of the body and how it works, because these are things you need. The more pieces of a puzzle you have, the clearer the picture becomes. Yep. Yeah, and then of course there's synchronizing the conscious and unconscious mind, and then the whole back of the book, as you know, is using foods as medicine.
That's my favorite part.
I know. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and that would go into herbs and everything you need in your cupboard, and actually where to buy them, how to buy them, because people say, well, like for instance, cinnamon. Just simply, having cinnamon like 6 grams a day can help to regulate blood sugar. Well, people go to the store and just buy cinnamon, and I'm like, no. You need Ceylon cinnamon. You need true cinnamon, what's called true cinnamon, and you need a cinnamon that hasn't been irradiated, coming in. And so you need to get high quality herbs when you're dealing, even if you're just putting it on toast.
Yeah, you need the good qualities. And there was something else, and I'm going to dig in through my little notebook that I did, because I was making notes. In one particular point in the very front, when you were talking about, well, there's water too. There's so many. It's full of so many great things. But you were talking about a certain Caspian or something that's in something else, and that's what it was that was important. And it threw me out because everybody knows that this is really good for you, but I didn't realize it might be in the next section. But anyway, you go into the detail. It's not just the herb itself; it's the thing that's inside that vitamin or the herb or something.
I talk about the different components of them and what is beneficial and what is not. There is also another kind of, I think it's called, Cassian cinnamon, which is usually called cinnamon bark. Now, the challenge with that is that if you eat too much of that, it can actually have some detrimental effects on the liver.
Oh.
So it is not just going out, and that's a cheaper cinnamon. And so most stores that are selling the cinnamon that they expect you just to put a few sprinkles on toast, it could be that kind, because they don't, in the stores, you don't see it labeled specific.
Yeah.
You don't see, it doesn't say true cinnamon or, Cassian cinnamon. It just says cinnamon. And so
you don't know what kind it is.
Yeah. It's important. Specifics really do matter when you're working with this and when you're, looking to heal yourself or, whatever your position is or somebody else. If you're helping, you want to be able to have the correct information and in great detail. Yeah.
And again, when you're looking through here, I mean, when you're looking up even like blueberries, or why are blueberries important, and then you understand why they're important because you explain what they do when they're inside the body, and there was something about the raspberries when they're frozen.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, blueberries is one of the highest antioxidants, but the challenge is you need to really start buying organic only. Because, it's amazing. We all know what's happened to our food sources, which is really more than sad. It's criminal, but so we have a choice, so we can always buy organic. And a friend of mine, I always give credit because I actually didn't say this first. A friend of mine, I was just having a conversation. He's a big juicing person out of LA. And we were talking about red raspberries, and he said, well, red raspberries are great for the heart. I said, of course, yes. He says, but did you know this? And so I kind of, listening, I'm going to say, no, what? Well, the thing is that it's actually the little seeds inside and what kind of antioxidants they carry that it gives that extra poof, that extra punch to why raspberries are so good for the heart. The challenge is when you eat raspberries, it just gets digested and goes out the other end, so to speak. And so, but if you freeze them, he said, and then you put them in a high-speed blender, you can crack the shell of that seed. And when you do that, then it releases more, into the body. And I make sorbet out of it. It's just delicious. Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
And I think of it too, because when I eat a raspberry, I like, the fresh raspberries from the, organic, and you put them in your mouth and you just smoosh them in your mouth, and they just taste so good like that. But since you mentioned the seeds to me now, and I don't do the high-powered blender with them, I make sure I chew them to get the seeds broken. I chew them and taste the seeds, and I feel the seeds in me. And I don't know if it's the same as a high power, but I'm breaking the seeds and I'm breaking it up.
Well,
so
as long as you're breaking the seeds.
Up,
It's very difficult. They're how minute they are.
They're so tiny.
Small,
but I make sure when I'm eating raspberries, now I don't just enjoy the flavor, but I get the health benefits from it as well.
Make sure you're chomping on them.
And I make sure I feel them grind in my mouth. And it sounds funny, but that's just an important thing. And that's what a lot of that is. And I went to one of your, and it wasn't the big workshop, that's the word I was looking for, it wasn't the big workshop, it was
transformational workshop.
Yeah, that's it. Oh man, they're amazing. If you get a chance, definitely sign up, because I had been working on an issue, I don't know, a month, 6 months, a year, something. It was like a year or so I'd been working on an issue, and through that I want to say seminar is what I want to call it. Through that workshop, I was able to, it was just like somebody turned a light on. And it was perfect.
Excellent.
It was like, there it is. There's the answer. And I'm like, well, how did she do that? I've been working on this for a long time. But
well, I didn't actually do it. You did it. I just was able to lead you down the path. And that whole workshop actually was a download. It was, it was a download, including the process that I created from it, which is so opening. It's basically teaching a technique where people can take themselves into the quantum field and, as get to that moment where the perception was shifted. Because, and I talk about it in the book, it's perception is everything. Our perception of life is our perception of life. So it's very important that we, take care of our perception. And we're always altering our perception every moment.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah. It's and when you mention the perception, that's, I don't know if it's the second or the third part of here when you're working with your.
It's the third
Is
section.
it the third section? Because it just, again, each section, I love it so much because the emotional body and synchronizing the conscious and unconscious mind. And there were so many things in it. Perception is the second chapter of this chapter. So yeah,
Right.
And when you get into that and how the past defines your future, your inner voice. I mean, this is all so important in your healing, and most people don't connect with this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people think, well, I'm just going to take this pill, I'll just do this and I'll get better.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good, only the truth of the matter is that we are symbiotic. We have a symbiotic relationship with every part of the body. And, some people say, well, I'm just going to, put this out of my mind or leave it in the past, whatever. And it's like, you couldn't walk away from this any more than you could walk away from your shadow in a setting sun. And I think I say that in the book. It's yes, and most people, when it comes to getting well, sometimes they make what is happening, whatever it is, whether it's a flu, a cold, cancer, whatever it is, they try to make it an enemy, and I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to kill this. And I'm like, well, you can't. That's, in my personal opinion, that is not the road to healing it and getting it to go away, because unless you can embrace it and love it and understand where it's coming from, why it's there, and you have to love it to release it. Because it's really true, what we resist does persist.
Yeah, it does.
So,
it does. And it comes back to bite us a little bit harder the next time.
Yes.
Some of the stuff that we get, it's like, really?
Yeah.
And is that not, I'm not through that yet.
Meditation is so helpful because it keeps part of the mind busy and going on this journey where the other part is allowed to sort of go deep and within. And I think somewhere in there I say that meditation is a pathway to visualization, and visualization is a pathway to wellness. And because, you have to get up kind of underneath it.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, and I mean, the national statistic on meditation is astounding.
Oh.
I mean, it's like, people who meditate regularly will have 30% fewer heart attacks.
Yeah.
And if they're in the hospital, they're released 30% sooner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, who wouldn't want to
Yeah.
be on that bandwagon?
Well, and I just recently read something about the schools someplace, I want to say San Francisco, Northern California, where they're actually implementing meditation in junior high and high schools, and they have less dropout rate. They have a better, their scores are higher. There's less fighting, and they're like 15 minutes in the morning. They actually had to extend the school an extra half an hour a day, but they add 15-minute meditation in the morning. And there were students that were sitting around a table, and one girl says, yeah, I remember him a couple years ago, and he was fighting all the time, and he has totally changed now. So, and all they did different was that meditation at the school.
That's great.
It's huge, and
We
starting
need more
at
of
early.
that.
Yes, Las Vegas. Let's get it in the schools.
Right. Well, when your eyes are open and you're looking out, you're in the conscious world, in the conscious mind, and you see out. But when you close your eyes, it's an automatic response. You go within, and you begin to go within. And so the more you can go within and get to know more about who you are and see yourself from the inside, it's very important. And I think it's great that they're doing it in schools.
Well, yeah, and the more and more. I have a goal this year to get it into some elementary schools or preschools. That's one of my goals this year, is to get meditation into one of those facilities.
Excellent.
Because I have seen little 3-year-olds sit there. People go, oh, my kid, and you don't expect a 3-year-old to meditate for 15 minutes. Getting a 3-year-old to sit down for 3 minutes is good.
Yeah.
The short amount of time, but teaching them how to quiet the mind. A very good friend of mine too, and he's been meditating for decades, and he says that's just peaceful. That's just what you do. And he's a very calm, very relaxed person. It makes a huge. I do it. I don't do it as often or as long as I would like. Almost every morning I give it a few minutes. Some mornings a little bit longer.
Good.
And then now it's the right time of year in Vegas to sit out on my patio with my hammock.
Yes, the
And
weather's
just
beautiful.
Go
so
away.
It's a
Yeah.
good place to sit under a tree or sit anywhere and just
Mhm.
just be for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was something with the allergies too. And I'm not for sure if you had something in here particularly on allergies. I don't know if I missed that one yet or not. But again, it's working again with emotional things. And that's what surprised me with my health issue that I had recently. I didn't even think about being dehydrated, but I was having just this wonderful reaction to this pollen that was in the air, and it was cleaning itself out of me on a regular basis. And didn't realize that through the eye watering and through the blowing the nose and such that I was dehydrating myself.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, especially in the desert here, we all know. I mean, sometimes we can feel when the humidity's up, but I mean, the past few weeks, and especially with wind, I mean, we have had very low humidity, and even if you're not perspiring or crying or whatever, you water your eyes, you have to just really have more
Extra.
fluid.
Yeah.
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 And like you were talking about, maybe a little more mineral salt. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the first things I noticed. I woke up one morning and I was puppy sitting for somebody who had beautiful dogs. They were wonderful dogs. I loved playing with them and petting them and having fun, but their hair and their body was not agreeing. So I woke up one morning and I remember looking in the mirror and going, what happened to my eyes? They were all puffy and the wrinkles were so strong. And I'm like, okay, now I didn't age 10 years overnight. They were very pronounced, and not realizing that a simple thing as your wrinkles being stronger and the puffiness is kind of a dehydration thing too. So
well, your skin is well, if you, and sometimes if you like close your eyes and your eyes feel scratchy, your lips get dry. Sometimes you can look at the back of your hand or on your hand, you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, get some water in you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it can happen within just a couple of days or a day or so. It just happened that quick, and that was something I was reading here, and I'm going to see if I can find that one because it was very, very interesting, and it was about water.
Oh.
And you have pages on water actually,
Yes,
and
I
lemon
do.
and stuff because
do.
it is so important. And all the different minerals that well, I think it just goes right into here.
Well, yeah,
I've
I
got
think here
water.
I'm talking about the pH and
Yeah, the
different
pH
things
and how important that is.
and the, kind of the truth about things. So
Yeah,
I
water
what do you
is
wanna
the
talk
flow
about?
of life. Well, the pH, I get confused on that stuff.
Well, here's the thing, and I think I put it in the book. A lot of people, they talk about high pH water. And is high pH water good for you? Yes, high pH water is good for you. Should you drink it all the time? Probably not. Our bodies are very sensitive, and even to raise the pH just a teeny bit is a huge thing in the body. And what kind of gets me is some restaurants are now selling high pH water with food, with their meals and things like that. And then the people who are sort of see the other side of high pH say, oh no, don't drink high pH water because it destroys the acidity, the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, and it's going to cool, you're going to get a digestion and all this other stuff. Well, here's my personal take. High pH water is very good for you, but you should always drink it on an empty stomach. I hate to say it, but it doesn't come, they're selling like there's real water in the store or whatever, but nothing comes with instructions. Don't ever drink high pH water within about 30 to 40 minutes before you're putting food in your stomach. Can it cool? And people say, well, it's really bad for your digestion, but here's the truth. When you drink high pH water, first of all, because the molecules are so small, it usually doesn't get down to the digestive tract at all. It's usually absorbed through the tissues and through the organs, which is very healthy. But even if some did get down there and start a little bit of a cooling effect, which it could, that's not a bad thing, because if the hydrochloric acid is cooling a little bit, what does that say to your body? Your own body will say, hey, we need some more. We need some good, fresh hydrochloric acid, which stimulates the liver, and the bile and the whole system. And so it actually isn't bad. So it's just a matter of, again, it's not only what you're doing, but how you're doing it and when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people, drink a quart of high pH water with a meal, and then they don't might feel so good after a while. And it's like, well, you have to kind of, you have to sort of, use some common sense with that.
Yeah, because
Like anything else.
it adds the acid into your stomach, or the hydrochloric.
No.
I'm confused. It makes your body produce more.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you have a cooling effect, it makes your body produce more.
Okay.
Which is one reason that antacids aren't so great for you
In the long run.
in the long run. Yeah.
Now, what about just because I know the lemon juice first thing in the morning, and just a plain glass of room temperature water with lemon juice is really beneficial for you.
Yeah, even warm water is even better with some organic lemon in it. The funny thing about lemon is an acid until it hits the interior of the body, and then it becomes alkaline. It helps to alkalize the body actually on the inside. It's extremely good. It's extremely good for the liver and everything. That's why people say, yes, have that in the morning. And I think there's a page and a half of benefits. You read all these benefits.
I know.
You're like, well, that's just too good to be true. But
All this lemon is
yeah.
so great for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple pages of lemons.
But
in it.
do the research
And
you'll
what it
see.
does.
It's really
Flush,
true.
and I'm just going to touching base. It says health benefits of drinking lemon water, and I'm just touching pH. It balances, maintains pH levels, helps flush out toxins. That's first thing in the morning. It synergizes effects of the body, and it helps soothe the digestive system. It aids digestion and encourages the production of bile. We were talking about that with the liver. It cleanses the liver. It's also a great source of citric acid, potassium. Who would have known lemon had potassium in it? Calcium, phosphorus, and
Magnesium or manganese?
manganese. And I get those
let me see.
confused.
Oh, that's magnesium.
Magnesium. Yeah, I get those two kind of mixed up. It helps prevent the growth of multiplications of pathogenic bacteria that causes infections and diseases. So, if you are prone to that's colds and stuff, correct? Colds and flus?
Yeah.
So it's going to keep that away. Helps reduce pain and inflammation in joints, knees, and dissolve uric acid, because that's what I've got the challenges with.
Yeah.
Helps cure the common cold. The potassium contents in the lemon help nourish brain and nerve cells, and it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
And that's just the lemon. That's what the lemon does.
Just a simple, organic little lemon.
Yeah.
Well, I think you find that as you get into using foods as medicine, that everything just about on the planet was put here as medicinal if we would leave it alone and let it grow under natural conditions without poisoning the air and poisoning the water and poisoning
and the soil,
soil and the food itself. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's crazy.
And then processing everything too.
Well, yes.
Yeah, because they tend to process. The less processing, the better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
On my protocol, I mean, that's like the number one thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you have to stop eating processed foods, even for just a little while, to allow the body to recover.
Well, and that's one thing. You're like myself. I mean, I'm growing my own greens. I've got my own herbs going on. I mean, anything I can grow myself. I mean, I'm in Vegas.
Good
You have to
girl.
buy dirt for those people that live other places. In Vegas, you have to buy dirt.
Yes.
If you're going to plant something, you got to buy dirt because it's pretty hard, rusty, sandy soil.
We actually have very high pH in the soil, and that's a real challenge here because we have very alkaline soil, and plants like a little bit of more of an acidic, like around a 5 pH or 6 up to 6, but our soil is a lot more than that. So you have to, even putting coffee grounds, use coffee grounds and churning it. But getting organic soil is a really good start.
It's a good thing because then and like I said, I can go out on my patio now and I've got chard and I've got collards, and I've got my own stuff out there and I have my own mint.
It's the best way.
It is, because then I know it's mine and I just cut it and it's fresh. It's as live as can be.
It's lovely.
Going out there and just pinching off a piece of mint and just
isn't that wonderful?
I know, it's a wonderful thing. Love having my own garden going on, and I have an 8x20 patio, and I have all this on my little patio.
Wonderful.
So I'm learning. I grew up on a farm where we had like a half an acre for just corn and a half an acre for just like the squash and pumpkins, and then we had like a half an acre with rows of things. I mean, we had a huge garden, but just it's the way to go. It's the way to go, and knowing your body, and that's what I love. Again, anatomy of wellness, of healing and wellness. There you go.
Can you see it? This is it.
If you're interested in contacting Dr. Sheila Z, you can reach her at 702 227-9415. She is very busy, so give it some time. Sometimes it takes a little while to get back to her. Or if you'd prefer, you can connect with her at truelife-solutions.com, or the name of the book, Anatomy of Healing and Wellness.com.
Yeah.
So those are some different ways you can contact with her. She's amazing, one-on-one. You come in with a specific health issue, she's going to be able to guide you. And is it a protocol? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I have a protocol called the Vibrant Life Protocol.
And it's going to change your life. And you've written a few other books. You've got one of them here. You've got your CD, and you want to talk a minute about some of these as well.
Well, when I was healing from many years ago from one of those things that they said I could never heal from, I became very friendly with some wonderful angels that pulled me through, and they gave me a gift, and that gift ended up to be Sounds of the Soul. And it actually, we've had it tested on not only bio but neurofeedback machines. It actually normalizes both hemispheres of the brain. So people have been getting a lot of benefit from that.
Beautiful, beautiful angelic music. I just can't. Yeah, it's one of those ones that just kind of takes you away.
Yeah, if you're having problems sleeping, it'll certainly.
Yeah, it'll help that, and you're healing during the sleeping too.
Yes,
so, yeah.
And then this is a deep healing meditation that has the music behind it. So the music and the tones and the vibratory rate of the music is actually working on you as you're getting a guided meditation for deep healing. And then this book came through a few years back, called Love and Illusion, and people are like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it's all together. It's how to recognize, recover from, and avoid a destructive relationship. And it's really about, well, I would like to say it's about sociopathic behavior in relationships, but actually what it's more about is how to regain your joy in life if you've had an incident or an encounter with one of these beautiful creatures. And how to regain your joy, how to break the spell, and how to go on and truly heal from it where there's no charge on it, and you see the blessing of it in every moment of it. So it's important, because these are the things that, unfortunately, if we don't take care of them, they end up taking care of us. And
my belief is, when you don't take care of your emotional issues, they come back and manifest as physical ailments.
Absolutely.
Time and time and time again. I mean, it's proven people that meditate, that de-stress, tend to have less physical ailments.
It's true.
And I don't know the exact statistics and such. I just know that I've read it, and people have told me that have read it, that when you do release stress out of your life, when you're able to focus and let go for just a few minutes a day, it's huge profounding.
It's very beneficial. Yeah, I mean, stress is, people don't realize that behind most of the dis-eases going on is the stress and the mental stress that is caused from just knowing that you have something going on in the body, and this underlying turmoil inside can do as much, if not more, damage than actually what you have going on. So it's really important to address it all, and that's one reason I wrote the book, because it all matters.
Now I'm curious too, because I know that you do see people privately, and I know that you're extremely busy right now, but do you do Skype? Do you do just phone calls? Do you do one-on-one in person, or what's your availability along that?
I prefer in person, but if people are far away, then it's Skype, or now there's FaceTime, or any of those, and we can do that. The protocol that I do, we do diagnostics and things, but things that would not be done allopathically, because to me it's all about the blood. Live blood never lies. And when somebody really knows what's going on, you can't, people say, well, I take these vitamins and I do this and I do that. And I'm like, well, okay, why are you doing that? Is there something going on? It's like, what are you treating? It's like throwing pasta against the wall and hoping it'll stick, It's like, well, you really need to find out what is happening and what's going on before you start treating it, because, you want to be doing the correct thing. The body is very delicate and very precise. And when we learn to really listen and do some exploration, and you work together symbiotically, so the whole body and every cell moves in one one way, all healing, and that's when you get these amazing results that, people kind of stand back and go, well, how did you do that? Is that possible?
Yeah. And like you said, when the doctors say, and again, the medical profession is amazing, and their education and their knowledge is tremendous in many realms that we need today.
Absolutely.
We really do need. They're amazing for all that we need. But there's a time when we may need to step away and work on ourselves. In ancient times, people didn't go to a doctor. They had to know what herbs and how to make things up on their own to heal themselves.
Well, that's true. And I mean, we're not allopathic bashing at all, because, of course, they're very educated and knowledgeable, and we need allopathic medicine. The challenge is that I don't know if I should even bring this up, but in the 30s, allopathic doctors worked with a number of clinics, like cancer clinics that like SCX and some of the other clinics that have been outlawed in this country now. And unfortunately, as the rise of the pharmaceutical industry, all the textbooks, everything were rewritten, and so medicine sort of became more of a pharmaceutical solution rather than a natural solution. And some of the things that they're putting together, we all know it's very detrimental to the body. Pharmaceuticals can save lives and everything, but let's face it, most of the pharmaceuticals came from plant-based, and the body knows what to do with plant-based or herb-based products, where you put a foreign conglomeration that's an isolate and not a whole thing. The body doesn't even know what to do with it. That's why there's so many side effects.
Yeah, and like you said, if you take a mint leaf and suck on it, it will assist you with an upset stomach. That's a simple analogy. Yeah. But if you go to a store and you buy a pill that's made from mint, it's got 6 or 8 other things in it, and some people suck on the little mints to give them, but those mints also have sugar in them. And they may also have some other chemical, or unless they're sugarless, then they have aspartame in it. We don't even need to go there.
Or high fructose corn syrup.
We don't even need to go on that. That's another whole topic. But again, the simple thing of sucking on a mint leaf will assist your stomach. Your stomach knows what that is.
Cutting a little piece of garlic off of or garlic thing and putting it in some warm water. That's wonderful. Yeah. Well,
that's what with my abscessed tooth. I was chewing garlic. I naturally got rid of an abscessed tooth.
Oh, that's right.
They wanted to.
I mean ginger for the stomach. Sorry.
Well, and the thing of it is I've been putting ginger in like everything lately. I'm kind of getting, and the turmeric too. I'm getting fresh turmeric too. Sure. I've been doing fresh turmeric, and I'm getting used to the taste. It's
actually
different.
Lovely if there's a few other blends you can put in it. I'm going to be, I hope it won't be probably this year, but early next year, I'll be having a Vibrant Life Protocol cookbook that'll go along with this.
Yay.
So, just to give people ideas of things to do. Because the people come over my house all the time to eat. They're like, hi, I haven't had lunch yet. What are you serving? So I put these things together that are, they don't really have any flour or anything, and they're delicious, and you really can eat healthy. But I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying it's for everybody. But it's time we took responsibility. We're definitely in a time of consequence from all the things that are happening, and we are in a time of taking responsibility for our own bodies. And like I said, that's just it. And the first step is when you go to the grocery store, what you put in that grocery cart is that's your medicine. Let food be your. That's the last chapter. It's my favorite. And it's using food as medicine.
Using food as medicine. Where's it at? It's in the back, and that's my favorite chapter because, it's simple. It's you get into this using food as medicine. You're getting into blueberries and salmon and nuts and seeds, and then you break
all
into what they have in them and why you need that in your body, and then you go into even the blood sugar issues. What do you need for your liver? You're going into how you use each of these for this.
Yeah.
And some of these things I don't even know what they are, and I'm like, whoa, that's a different word. What's that? but again, it's bringing it to your dandelion roots. I mean, as a kid, we didn't like the dandelions. They were all over the yard, but they're
it's amazing. Yeah.
Milk thistle.
They're really good for the blood, and milk thistle, of course, everyone knows is good for the liver.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and there's your cinnamon.
Oh boy, there's so much about cinnamon there because I'm such a proponent of cinnamon. It's crazy.
Cumin, turmeric, and then you talk about what foods you. It's and
Yeah,
the teas
but-
you get into the teas too.
Yeah, what
and,
teas you should always have in your cupboard, you know, different vitamins and
Yep.
yeah.
And you're breaking down into the vitamins too, and you even tell. For those that because I'm not much of an open a bottle and put a pill in my mouth, that you have it in here how much you're supposed to have a day. If you're working with health issues, how much a day. If you're working with this, and you also have in there that you need to take this with this, and you need to take this at this time of day or this at that time of day, and it really gives you a lot of knowledge on how to, because people, just like you said, they take vitamins just to be taking vitamins, and they don't know that, well, if you got to take this one with water, and this one needs to be taken with food, and this one you have to take with this,
Yeah.
or you're not getting the benefit because
Yeah.
it doesn't, you're
And
not
one of the
absorbing
main
it.
things is a lot of people take a lot of herbs, you know, with vitamins and things like that. And herbs should always be taken alone in an empty stomach. And it's just a simple thing.
Yeah.
But if you're taking the herbs, you want them to work.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to get the most out of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And that's what I love so much. Again, Sheila's contact information, if you want to contact her by phone, is 702-227-9415. Or you can contact her through the internet at truelife-solutions.com or anatomyofhealingandwellness.com. That's just the name of the book, Anatomy of Healing and Wellness. And if they're wanting the book now, did you run out of copies and had to order some more or something too?
Oh,
I
it's
was
in its
thinking-
third printing,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. We have lots
So-
now. You can just go to the website and order
Yeah.
right off the website.
Okay.
And that's the only way to get a signed copy. I also, on that website, have a section called products. And everything that I mention in this book about, you know,
Where to
taking
get?
whatever, it has all the background on, you know, where to get it and
Oh,
things
wonderful.
like that. So everything that's mentioned in the book, you can get on the website,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And I like it. It says, unleashing the healer within to stay 30 until you're 90, which we all want to do.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, spiritually, the whole thing. Let's stay in those 30s. That was
Yeah.
that was a fun time, the 30s.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, the truth of it is that if every single cell in our body regenerates, and it does, and every organ regenerates, so why are some people getting older? So it had, number one, it's a mindset. We know that it's perception, but it's also
Perception.
But you have to know what to put in the body. So
Yeah, to keep it.
and that's a really big thing. We can stay 30 till we're 90, and I don't know about you, more than twice that age, and we don't change. We feel the same inside.
Yeah.
We go through some. People look at us a little different, but
Yeah,
hey,
and things shift in our bodies a
Yeah.
little different. They look a little different than they used to. But,
yeah.
but again,
That's
like
so
you
true.
said, the organs themselves are all regenerating every so many years.
All the
so,
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
so,
gotta love them for that.
yeah. Well, it's
This has been so much fun.
Yay. And those of you that are viewing this, feel free to share this, pass it on wherever you're viewing it from,
Yeah.
send it to other people, because this book is changing lives. It really is. It's so full of information from A to Z, and Sheila is so knowledgeable about all this. It's just incredible. I want to thank you for being with us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And all the knowledge. And again, if you need some nice, relaxing music, I highly recommend this
Yeah.
one. And this is Janee Powers here with Dr. Sheila Z. Sterlings here on Soul Chat, standing in for Lainey. She will be here Thursday again. This Thursday, special Soul Chat. April 16th from 2 to 3. You'll want to listen in on that one. And I want to thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Looking back at life as it's been before, holding on to things that might happen.